Okay, this, the thing that is really good
No,
is
Stick it on somebody else. That's what I just said to her, you can't stop.
still throws it in the microwave and heats it because she wants it more.
It's very interesting things here. How much more complicated inside than you think of. You pick up a dozen eggs, you pick up a bottle of this or that, and you never realize.
And this is my own concoction because years ago, I used to make a peanut butter sauce
Sure.
that you used sugar and water and a little bit of Karo syrup, and you boiled it, and I can't even remember to what temperature or how long, and you took it off the stove and you beat in your peanut butter. And I thought, you know, water, Karo syrup, and sugar boiled down sounds an awful lot like maple syrup without the maple flavor. And so I experimented with how much peanut butter I needed to put into my warm maple syrup, and that's how this recipe evolved. This is also good, especially if you got a little thicker than what I do right here, or when it's cold. It's great for a vegetable or a fruit tray, like with bananas and.
I've got a question. Say if you tap a tree the first time this year, how many years can you until it dies?
50, yeah. And this is another.
God forbid insects and stuff don't get at it.
Yeah. And lightning.
Yeah.
Because that happens also. That is a very good question because, oh boy, I hope we don't have tree huggers here. Because there are a lot of people that try to say we're hurting our trees. Well, I'll tell you, there is no maple producer that I know of that is going to do anything to hurt his livelihood. They're just not going to do it. That's why they don't overtap.
Now, do you leave the spouts in all year round, or you put the plugs in there? The little dowel, like.
No. You tap the tree.
Right.
And then when the season is over, you pull that spile out. And where the drop line comes off, there's like a little peg. You put that spile on there. And it's when you clean that line and then you cap it. You do not do anything to that tree because that tree will heal itself. And that's why we use the smallest spile possible.
Now, that's one thing that you could do to save the industry a little bit. I did it in high school, tapped some trees in a cemetery. And they said that you had to put those little dowels in there to plug it. It was a mandatory thing or else it would kill the tree.
That tree will heal over before even the next season. In fact, when we tap our trees, we are using a brand new spile every year. That's what goes into the tree.
You don't sanitize it with Clorox or anything?
No, because that will show up in your syrup, taste in your syrup. Some of them, we don't, but some say that they use vodka because there's no flavor to vodka. We don't use vodka either. But the bacteria is what that tree is more or less sending out its white cells or whatever. And when you tap that tree, you have actually given it one little injury. That's why we don't over tap. And that tree, the bacteria makes it try to heal itself faster. And that's why we recycle them, but we do not even use that spile. Our spiles are two parts. It's what they call a stubby and the spile. And we put a new spile on every year. The whole lines are probably replaced 8 to 10 years, and the whole lines are replaced.
See, that's what you ought to do. You ought to notify the education department because they're instructing their students the wrong way.
Yeah.
And that could do damage to the trees, to your sugar bush.
And we never tap in the same, well, I probably shouldn't say never tap in the same place, but our drop lines are like 3 foot long. And we tap it here. Next year we tap it over here. Next year
around the tree.
As far as you can reach, yes. Yeah, you don't tap in the same place. But they will be all healed over. Well, probably even in the middle of the summer. You can go back to those trees and you probably wouldn't be able to tell where that tree was tapped.
How often do you have to go around and check your lines?
Daily.
Daily?
Well, and it's easy to tell that you've got a leaker somewhere because with the vacuum, he's probably running 25 inches of vacuum. Well, when you drop down to 18, it's like something's open somewhere, or a squirrel has come along and chewed a hole somewhere, and you go out into the woods and you can tell by the rushing line like which one is, and then you start following that out. And if you've got good ears, you get out a little ways away from the vacuum pump and you can hear them sissing and pulling air.
Excuse me. I was just going to say, so all these lines are on top of the ground?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I
Yes.
see.
And they're all on
Slope.
not pitch, yeah, okay, slope.
We hit it right?
Yeah. And our lines stay up.
I see.
And, well, except for when the trees knock a limb falls on them or something like that. And it's very surprising because we have very little damage from a deer.
Really?
We have more damage from chipmunks, squirrels, and sapsuckers. Yellow-bellied sapsuckers are terrible on lines. And it doesn't make sense because where the spile goes into the tree, those little suckers will come and they'll beat that thing and they'll put holes in it. And it's like, why don't you just do it to the tree and not to that hard plastic? But we have much, the deer go under or over, huh?
They're not metal? Cast? The spirals aren't cast?
No, they're hard plastic. I should have brought some of those. Yes?
Do you have any of the insect problems or anything? I mean, I know we're hearing a lot about ash borers and stuff. Are there anything threatening your trees?
Cross our fingers, so far they have not. They have not. And you better hope, I mean, we better hope that they don't. Because emerald ash, and there's another one out there, and I can't think what that one is. If they find it, they basically destroy